Hi guys, Leon here and welcome to part 3 of the Guardian Guide and the in-depth look at their skills, weapons, traits, etc. Part 2 had a slight problem when I uploaded
I could outrun a
it missed
centaur.
out a little bit of the ending, so I'll be redoing that again from part of the main skills and attributes that Guardians have. So we'd already looked at spirit weapons, and I mentioned the other types. We've got the signets, and there are abilities that have passive effects, but much like your virtues, you can activate them to get other effects. So for example, the one I have on is Signet and Resolve. The passive ability is Cure a Condition every 10 seconds. It's not the most useful, but it's pretty good in PvP, and that's why I have it, because I've been PvPing a lot lately. The active ability is a heal, and this obviously is one of the quickest heals we have, and it's a fairly good one, and the cooldown's shorter than most. Then we also have meditations, which are abilities that normally are instant abilities that do various status effects. For example, Judge's Intervention, I teleport to my target and I burn them, and this is probably a must in PvP at the moment for Guardians. Consecrations are the last of the types that we have, other than the elite skill, and this is simply an area effect just on the ground around you, and they have various status effects. I certainly recommend having a look through them, seeing what suits you and the builds you want to go for, and you can mix and match them with your traits, which we'll have a look into in a bit. The final skills you get, which you unlock at level 30, are your elite skills, or obviously instantly if you jump straight into the PvP. The elite skills are powerful spells with far longer cooldowns than your general abilities, and they certainly are game-changing if you do decide to use them. The first of the elite abilities is the Tome of Wrath. This gives you a whole set of new action bars that are all offensive, and they're actually pretty good if you want to get a bit of burst damage going.
Unworthy. Hit them fast. Hit them hard.
It's just a shame they don't last longer. We also have Renewed Focus. This is basically one of the simplest ones, and the one I use purely because the cooldown's shorter than the rest. It makes you invulnerable and also recharges all your virtues, so you can spam them a lot more, and most of the active abilities are a lot better than the passive ones. The Tomb of Courage is probably the most supportive / healer type spell that we have. It allows you to go into a form that gives you huge heals. You can heal around 30,000, your HP doubles, and it's just generally a great one if you're in trouble. But I'm not a big fan of healing, so I won't bother with that on my Guardian. If we jump into the traits now, there are 5 separate abilities: Zeal, Radiance, Valor, Honor, and Virtues. Each of them you can assign points to, and they all have various effects, sort of increases. Zeal increases your power and condition duration. Radiance, your precision and your damage from conditions. Valor, your toughness as well as your critical damage. Honor, your vitality and increased healing. Virtues, your boon duration as well as the virtues recharge rate. Playing about with these can actually vary your gameplay and how your character acts quite drastically. I was quite surprised when I started messing around with some of them to realize what they do, as how they work is each area you have the Adept, the Master and the Grandmaster for every 10 points you put into each tree. Every 5th skill you have on here, so at 5, 15 and 25, you get a passive ability with that branch, so in this case the seal. Each of those will have the ability to do various things depending on your tree, and I definitely suggest having a good read through most of them. When it comes to your 10th skill, so every 10 points, you get one you can actively choose, and this is what really varies your gameplay. It's very similar to other talent trees that you see in games like World of Warcraft and Star Wars, where you can actually pick skills that increase other abilities that you have. The current tree I have at the moment is for burst damage with my two major abilities. I'll just show you a very quick example of what I do. To start with, I start in Greatsword. I leap in using Judge's Intervention. I instantly use Whirling Blade. I change weapon to my sword and activate Zealot's Defense. And this does around about 5k damage within only a matter of seconds. And there's not too many other abilities that I found that can do that same sort of burst. Once they've worn out, because of the short cooldowns on each, you can quite quickly jump between the two and do it all again. Lastly, I'll just quickly mention some of the professions that might be useful for you as a guardian if you wish to take them. First of all, there would be the weaponsmith, obviously good for crafting yourself some new weapons. You could take the huntsman, but that's probably one of the least effective ones that has some use, if that makes sense. So it has something you can use, which you can make torches, but there it is up to you, and I certainly wouldn't recommend it, but it could be useful if you wanted to. There's also artificers. They can make various sort of ranged magical weapons, and they certainly are very good if you're for your offhands, etc. Then there's the armor smith, which is fairly self-explanatory. You get yourself some good armor. Jewelers make your rings, necklaces, earrings, etc. And lastly the chef, so you can get some buffs from your food, some increased XP or anything like that. So all the others I wouldn't bother taking, but those 6 I certainly would. Well, that's the end of the guide, and thanks for watching. If you have any questions at all, do feel free to ask. If you want to check anything out, check out my channel and sub for any more updates. Thanks a lot. Bye.